Hey y'all, it's X, and I'm back at you guys with a different kind of video than I've done before. But I've been really interested in the draft process for the NFL. I've been looking at this for like the past I don't even know like I'm trying to think of when I really start getting into like scouting the draft and all that good stuff. It's been a couple years, so this year there's a lot of intriguing prospects. My favorite NFL team, the New York Giants, are picking at pick 6, which is kind of unfortunate because I wanted a quarterback, and I'm kind of doing this on the fly, so I don't know if the Giants will get a quarterback. We'll see. I'm not going to do trades because I don't have PFF Plus, so I could try a different draft simulator for the next one, but for this, just going to be no trades for the first one. Um, I might make this like a series and do a couple more of these before the actual draft, but we'll see. So let's start the draft here. And at pick 1, I think earlier in the year we had conversations about should the Bears keep Justin Fields? Should they move on? And I think the answer is they should move on. So I'm going to take Caleb Williams at 1. The reason for this, it resets like the quarterback contracts basically. Instead of having to pay Justin Fields like upwards of 25-30 million this year, you're going to be able to just get a new rookie contract for the next 4 or 5 years if you decide to pick up his option. And Caleb Williams is my quarterback 1 in this class. I disagree with a lot of people on the Drake May hype train. I am a little bit lower on him than most people. I think Jaden Daniels is better, but we'll see with that. At pick 2, though, I think Washington will take Drake May. The reason for this, again, I'm a little bit lower on Drake May. However, the consensus does not agree with me on that. Um, he's a good prospect. I just have issues with like his timing, and he can sometimes like I feel like he sometimes holds the ball a little bit too long. But I don't know. Maybe I'm nitpicking. I don't know, man. I just have a lot of questions about Drake May, and I feel like he's a little bit overhyped as a prospect. I feel the same way with JJ McCarthy. Like, I don't think he should go anywhere near the first round at all, but I digress. Next, New England Patriots at 3. So they're in an interesting spot, and you could take Jaden Daniels here, right? But I think the problem with that is taking quarterback 3 at pick 3 just isn't as great of value. And I don't think the Patriots trade down from the spot either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Marvin Harrison Jr. I've seen this a lot in recent mocks where the Patriots skip out on quarterback round 1 and maybe get one in round 2 with their third overall pick there. I like that idea, to be honest. I think that Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best player in the class, hands down. I don't think that there's an argument for anybody else, in my opinion. I guess you could say Caleb Williams, but like he has some pretty serious flaws. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is like the most complete wide receiver prospect we've seen in many years. He's great hands. He's a great route runner. He knows how to adjust his body to get to the ball. He's a very I don't even know how to explain it. It's just like he's great size. He's like 6'4", a little bit skinny, but like he he knows how to make it work, and he's a decent athlete as well. You'd think somebody at 6'4" wouldn't move the way that he does with such fluidity, but he does, and it's insane. At pick 4, the Cardinals have a lot of options here. I personally might be on like the tackle train here of taking like a Joe Alt at pick 4 and lining somebody up next to Paris Johnson for the future. But I think I am gonna go Malik Neighbors. I like this option a lot just because of the fact that what's his name? I think Marquise Brown is a free agent this year. I could be wrong about that, but I think he's a free agent. If he's not, it's next year. I think his contract is up. I don't think they re-signed him. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I think that Malik Neighbors is somebody who is just a better player. I think Malik Neighbors is a very good like deep threat. He isn't the greatest route runner. He's pretty solid, but I wouldn't say that like he's exceptional at route running in any way. I think he's very good with the ball in his hands, and he also has pretty solid hands as well. And the Cardinals have 2 first-round picks, so I think I can wait to address tackle or edge rusher later on, because I think there will still be some pretty good value down the board. So with this pick, I'm going to take Malik Neighbors. The Chargers at 5. Jim Harbaugh is now their head coach. I feel like he would want to get a tight end with Brock Bowers here. I can also see this team going tackle, could even see this team maybe possibly going Roma Dunze if they're kind of like done with Quentin Johnson already. I've seen tackle here. I think I said that. But I do think that the value of Brock Bowers is very high. He's a little bit of an undersized tight end. I think he's like 6'2", but he has great hands. He's great after the catch, and he just plays big. So like, yes, he's 6'2", but he plays like he's like 6'4". Like he's very good like hands, very good ball control. Like I would trust him a lot, and he doesn't even have to be a tight end. He could be an X receiver. He could be a slot receiver. Giants at pick 6. It feels like I might have rigged this. I personally, right, I would go Jaden Daniels here. The Giants and Joe Schoen, they've come out and said, like, hey, we're open to any position. Like, yeah, Daniel Jones might be the starter next year, but we are still open to any position. Now, that could mean taking a quarterback in round 2. My only issue with that is that Bo Nix, Michael Penix, they're kind of too old for what I think the Giants are kind of where they're at right now. I don't think the Giants have any like outstanding weapons. I think they also just still have an issue on the offensive line. So I just personally wouldn't go with them because of age, as well as like if they sit for a year behind Daniel Jones, if that's your plan, then they're going to be like 25 by the time that they're taking their first start. Then your other option would be waiting for J.J. McCarthy. I've already said I'm not high on him at all. He has the tools to be a good quarterback, but the problem for me is the fact that he just wasn't relied on at Michigan at all. And for somebody who people are talking about as this potential great QB prospect, I would have liked to see more flashes than he showed. And he did flash at times. He did probably make like one big time throw a game. But like, for somebody who I don't want to be a game manager, you think they have the tools to be an elite quarterback who's a ceiling raiser, not just a floor raiser. I just wouldn't take that. And then after that, it's just kind of like you're just throwing darts. Like Michael Pratt, I wouldn't take until day 3. Joe Milton's a very, very risky prospect. He's not accurate at all. And then if you don't want to go quarterback, you go tackle here. Because I think I literally just read today that the Giants are looking actively for Evan Neal's replacement. Whether that means through the draft, whether that means through free agency, I'm not sure. I do think a possibility is the Giants sign somebody like a Jermaine Illuminor from the Raiders, because I believe we hired their offensive line coach. So maybe he wants to get a guy he's familiar with at tackle, and you kick Evan Neal inside. So I don't really know. Like, again, after free agency, a lot of things will be more clear to us. But I think at pick 6, I am going to go offensive tackle. I would love Jaden Daniels. It just, based on the reports that I saw today, it doesn't make sense. So I am going to go Joe Alt. He's a very popular tackle prospect. He's very, very talented. A very high floor as a player. I think his ceiling might be a little bit lower than Olu-Fashanu, but I think right now Joe Alt's the better player. But speaking of Olu-Fashanu, at pick 7, that is who I'm going to take for the Tennessee Titans. They need tackle help desperately. I was not the biggest Peter Skoronski fan last year, and I think he's just going to be a better guard than he will be at tackle. So I think putting somebody next to him, like Fashanu, would be really good for this team going forward. At pick 8, the Atlanta Falcons are on the board, and this is where I'm going to have Jaden Daniels go. I don't think he leaves the top 10, personally. I think that if he is there at pick 8, I don't think he falls past pick 8, and if he... I don't even know if he makes it to pick 8. I think a team would try and trade up with somebody like the Titans, maybe, if they could. Or somebody would just trade up with either the Cardinals or the Chargers. I think the Cardinals are like the most popular trade-up spot, but I think if Malik Neighbors is there, they just take him. For the Bears here, they could go a couple of different ways. I've been a fan of like a Roma Dunze pick. You drafted Caleb Williams, get him another weapon next to DJ Moore. I don't know if Darnell Mooney is part of their future plans. I'm very high on Jerzon Newton. A lot of people have started raising, let's see if he's up here, Byron Murphy, very high up their boards. I'm not completely there yet on him. I think he's probably a top 32 prospect for me, but I don't know if I would take him ahead of Jerzon Newton, who I think is just a victim of prospect fatigue. Him and Byron Murphy are both kind of undersized defensive linemen in terms of like arm length. So I just would go with the player who I know has been better for many years now in Unknxwn. But for the Bears, I think they could target an edge rusher. I think that they could target. I even think they could target a cornerback. Because what if Jalen Johnson doesn't want to come back? I don't know if he's already signed or anything, but like, what if Jalen Johnson doesn't want to come back? I wouldn't prioritize that now. He just drafted Tyreek Stevenson. Kyler Gordon's pretty solid. I think with this pick, I am going to go Dallas Turner. He might be my favorite defensive player in this class. I don't know how well maybe he doesn't really fit as well with this team, but I think that Dallas Turner is just so versatile as a defensive player. Like, he's very underrated in coverage, and people don't talk about it a lot, but he's not that horrible in coverage. Like, he's kind of like a 4-3 outside linebacker in a way. Did I say 4-3 or 3-4 outside linebacker? But he can play in coverage. He can obviously get to the quarterback. I think he's really solid. At pick 10, the Jets basically are forced to go tackle here. I don't think they have a choice. Yeah, I would go tackle for them. I don't think that there's another option. They need protection for Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to go Taliese Fuaga. Very popular right now, getting a lot of draft hype. He had a very good Senior Bowl, I believe. I'm recording this post-Senior Bowl. The game is actually on right now, and I'm not watching it, but I'll hear reports later on what happened. But Fuaga looked really good in one-on-ones. I think he only lost a couple of reps to some people during practices, but yeah, he's gaining a lot of traction right now. I personally have him way higher than J.C. Latham, who I'm not that high on, but either way. Vikings at 11, I think their best bet is they're going to re-sign Kirk Cousins and go elsewhere and not draft a quarterback. So I do like a defensive player in this. There's a part of me that wants to take Cooper DeJean, like, really high here, or Terrion Arnold. Actually, if I were to take a cornerback, it would be Terrion Arnold. I think I am going to take an edge here for them, though. I think the problem right now is that Daniel Hunter might not re-sign. You might lose out on the guys that you already have. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go Jared Verse here for them. I like him a lot. I think he's also kind of a victim of prospects fatigue, where people were kind of talking about him having a down year, but he just looked more well-rounded as a pass rusher. He was a lot better in run defense and things like that. So I think he just looks like a better all-around player, even though he may not have had like the leap as an edge rusher that you wanted to see. The Broncos here at 12. Okay. After Senior Bowl one-on-ones, I'm not going to lie to you. Quinyon Mitchell might be my number one corner in this class. It's like a 5-man race between DeJean, Nate Wiggins, Terrion Arnold, Kool-Aid McKinstry, and Quinyon Mitchell, and maybe for some people Ennis Rakestraw. Quinyon Mitchell looked so good in one-on-ones, and you don't usually see DBs look that good in one-on-ones. Those drills are usually meant to show off receivers. Yo, Quinyon Mitchell, he didn't really get beat. I don't know what his like exact stats were, but like he looked really solid at the Senior Bowl. So for Denver here, I think getting someone to pair up with Patrick Surtain for the future, and yes, Broncos fans, you might be saying go quarterback. I'm not taking anybody before the top 20. Like, I'm not taking Michael Penix. I'm not taking Bo Nix before the top 20. Or inside the top 20. Like, if the Raiders or Saints want to do it, have fun, bro. Like, y'all got that. But, like, it's not a smart idea just based on age and value in terms of there's just better players available. So I'm going to go Quinyon Mitchell here. I really like him out of Toledo. Number 13 here, or pick 13 for the Raiders. There's a lot of different spots that they go. We could talk about quarterback, but we're not going to. I thought about tackle for them, to be honest. They might lose Jermaine Illuminor in the offseason, but I don't know if the Raiders go tackle. I can't really go edge for them because they're probably still waiting on Tyree Wilson to see if he'll develop. I definitely thought about cornerback and maybe like Terrion Arnold here. I think they need another DB because Nate Hobbs had some injury concerns last year. They let go of who? Or sorry, no, I'm thinking of the Patriots. They got Jack Jones, who he's okay. He's fine. He's not a bad player, but he's not amazing either. But I think for the Raiders, I am going to go Terrion Arnold. I like him a lot. He's a very aggressive corner, which is a trait that a lot of the best cornerbacks in the league have, is that they're just very handsy and they know how to like stick to the receiver like glue. Saints are at 14. I would want a left tackle for them. I would, because the problem for them is that Trevor Penning's not good. But they also could use a right tackle because Ryan Ramczyk might just straight up retire, which would just be a problem because he's just had injury concerns for years now. So they just need both sides, and for me, I'm not taking J.C. Latham here. I'm gonna go Amarius Mims. I like him a lot more. I just think he has a very limited sample size. I think he only started 6 games in college because he was just injured and then he wasn't the starter for a little bit. But he's looked really good when we've seen him. So I think it's worth a chance. Maybe you wait on Amarius Mims, put him in the back half of the first round, and like now it's like you're taking a chance on somebody who has the potential but injuries. And they kind of have that with Ramczyk right now, so it's kind of ironic that I'm doing that. Colts here at pick 15. They can go a lot of different directions. I think if Rome Odunze is here at 15, you just have to take him, right? Like, Rome Odunze should have gone probably pick 9 to Chicago. But I ended up skipping on that to go defense. But he could have realistically gone to, like, any of these teams. He's that talented, and I don't think you wait. Give Anthony Richardson some more weapons to work with. Let's go Rome Odunze. Pair him up with Michael Pittman Jr. and Josh Downs. You get some more size and speed. He's like combining Michael Pittman Jr. and Josh Downs together. Not literally, but like you have the size of Michael Pittman, the speed of Josh Downs. You get where I'm going with this. Seattle at pick 16. Again, I've seen a lot of the popular pick being J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix, Michael Penix. I'm not doing that. I'm not drafting a quarterback in this spot. I think they could go defensive line. I think they could go edge. I think they could go offensive line, like interior, but I don't know if I'm taking a Troy Fautanu this high. So for them, I think I'm just going to take Jerzon Newton. Yeah, let's go Jerzon Newton to them. Again, very, very talented interior pass rusher. I think he's pretty solid at stopping the run. His main issue is he's just a little bit undersized in terms of arm length. I think we talked about that earlier. But I think he's a really solid player. He's one of my top players in this class. I'm so much higher on him than the consensus, but just watching him at Illinois was like, it's so fun. It's so fun. Jaguars at 17 here. They need like receiver. They're probably very upset that Rome Odunze just went, but I think Brian Thomas might be another good one. Really quickly, Tez Walker had a terrible Senior Bowl. He's not going to go anywhere near the first round. Just had to throw that out there. Brian Thomas is an option. I think they could go DB with a Cooper DeJean, a Nate Wiggins, or even a Kool-Aid McKinstry, even an Ennis Rakestraw. I don't think they're in dire need of tackle. I wouldn't take an interior this high just yet. Yeah, I think I'm going to go receiver for them. Calvin Ridley is just like, he's kind of in a weird spot where he's just kind of not old, but he's aging. He's like 28 now. He missed like 2 years of football from like taking a mental health break and then also the gambling thing. So he hasn't even played for that long, but he's just old now. So I think that they could do better with somebody like a Brian Thomas Jr., who I'm also very, very high on. I think he's going to be great. Pick 18 here. The Cincinnati Bengals. I haven't really done too much with them, but I think this is going to be my J.C. Latham spot. Again, J.C. Latham is a very solid player. I have concerns with him. I watched the Alabama-Michigan game, and people were just like, he held up really well. I did not see that. I don't know what other people saw, but I just saw him taking a lot of missteps and choosing to block the wrong guy. Like, there was one play where Jalen Milroe got sacked, and yes, he was getting sacked all game, and I will not put that solely on Latham, but like, Latham chooses to go block the outside guy. And like, he has to choose between a linebacker and an edge rusher. Because it's just an all-out blitz, right? And I don't know who the two players were, but he chooses to go outside rather than inside. And most people know you always go inside because it's going to take the outside guy longer to get to the quarterback, so he has more time to get the ball out. whether it's half a second more, it could be all the difference between a sack and a throwaway. Either way, just plays like that where I'm just like, I don't know, man. I have concerns about him, but Joe Burrow needs protection. JC Latham at 18. Rams at 19. Let's probably give them an edge rusher now, but their secondary is terrible. Like, an edge rusher is nice, but like Byron Young is he's pretty cool. He's pretty cool. That's really all I gotta say about him. He's pretty cool. So I think I am gonna go DB because their secondary is just absolutely horrible. Kool-Aid. This is my Kool-Aid spot. I'm a little bit higher on Kool-Aid than other people. I don't think they want a Cooper DeJean. I think they like more man corners. I don't think I'm going to go Unknxwn here either. It's really between Nate Wiggins and Kool-Aid. I think I'm going to go Kool-Aid. Let's go Kool-Aid McKinstry at 19 to the LA Rams. He's gotten put on the back burner because Terry and Arnold just shot up boards this year. He's just not the same athlete as a lot of the corners in this class. But he's not, like, slow. Like, he's a solid enough athlete. Extremely long arms. I don't know if he'll test out with the longest arms in, like, the cornerback class, but, like, I feel like he has potential, too. Like, he's very, very, very solid. So, yeah, I think we'll go with Kool-Aid, and I'm pretty happy with that. Steelers at 20. I'd love to give them a quarterback. They desperately need it. I don't actually know what to go with them. I've given them tackle before. I don't know if I'm, like, huge on any of these guys. And Kingsley Suamataia dropped down my board very far as well. Where do we go here? I'm thinking interior, maybe like a Jackson Powers Johnson. I could give them a cornerback. They might not hate that. Somebody opposite of Joey Porter Jr. Patrick Peterson's kind of old. Maybe I go Nate Wiggins here or Ennis Rakestraw. It would probably be Ennis Rakestraw. Or I could give them Jackson Powers Johnson, who is like my top. He was one of the best players at the Senior Bowl as well. Actually, was he at the Senior Bowl? I think he was, right? Am I thinking of the right person? I know who Jackson Powers Johnson is. Let me look this up really quick, because I swear somebody had a good one. Let's see really quickly. Jackson Powers Johnson. Senior Bowl. Yeah, he was amazing at the Senior Bowl. I'm thinking of the right person. So I am going to go Jackson Powers Johnson. He's my top interior in this class. I really like him a lot. I think the Steelers, if they can't get a quarterback, I would hope that they could trade for like a Justin Fields from the Bears in this scenario. But like, yeah, I like JPJ a lot. He had a monster Senior Bowl. Pick 21 for the Dolphins. I think they need interior as well, and I think this is where I'm going to go. Ooh, do I go Graham Barton? Or half of these players can be listed at tackle? Probably. Yeah, Troy Fautanu is listed at tackle. Somebody who could kick into guard, but I think we'll... Same with Graham Barton. I am going to go Troy Fautanu here. I think the Dolphins would enjoy that a lot. They just need offensive line help in general because they're not going to have money, and they're also very, very, very weak at offensive line. Connor Williams is about to be a free agent. Yeah, they got to figure it out. Eagles at 22. Y'all just need some talent at DB, so I'm just going to throw you Cooper DeJean, I think, and you figure it out. Is that fair? Or is Nate Wiggins a better fit? I'm trying to think. So I don't want to push DeJean too far down, but like, I personally am just not. I'm a little bit scared of if DeJean is going to be a good boundary corner in terms of like man coverage, or if he's going to be like somebody who has to stick in zone for a while, because that's what he played at Iowa. Do I just throw the Eagles Cooper DeJean and just say figure it out? Just take the best talent? Man. Because if I don't go DeJean here, I would probably give him to, like, the Bills. I would 100% give him to the Bills at 28. The Eagles do just need cornerback help. I'm going to go Nate Wiggins for them. I think he fits what they're doing a lot better than Cooper DeJean. I don't know. I hate pushing him so far down the board because I think a lot of people think I don't like Cooper DeJean, but like I just don't I don't trust him fully in a lot of the schemes that these teams run. Texans at 23. What's the receivers looking like? Nobody I would really take here. Maybe Keon Coleman. But I was thinking about should I get CJ Stroud some more weapons, but I don't think I would take anybody this high. I think they're good at tackle. I think they're good at O-line in general. I think I'd rather go defense here. I could get them an edge in Liatu Latu, pair him up next to Will Anderson for the future. That would be really, really nice. I could also give them a Byron Murphy Jr. He would also be very good next to Will Anderson. I don't want to keep pushing Liatu down the board. The reason he's falling, because he would be like my edge one, but the reason I keep having him fall is because he just has injury concerns. Same as Jalen Phillips when he came out, had to medically retire. Like, that does play a part, and that's why somebody like Michael Penix's draft stock didn't like leapfrog after the playoffs, because he still has those injury concerns. But I do think for the Texans here, I am gonna go. Let's go Liatu Latu. That seems more fun. Oop. Wrong button. Let's go Liatu Latu. It seems really fun. For the Cowboys here at 24, I mean, they need tackle. They could use a tackle really badly. I don't think they need edge. DeMarcus Lawrence is getting up there in age. They need running back, but they wouldn't take one here. They're going to need a quarterback real soon. Yeah, let's see. You're not an edge, sorry. I mean, I could. DeMarcus Lawrence is getting up there in age, like I said. This could be my Byron Murphy spot. I don't even know where I'm putting him. Like, I want to put him in the first round somewhere. I just don't know where yet. Again, I'm doing this on the fly, so he could have gone higher, but, like, yeah, I don't know. Man, I think I'm going to give them a tackle because Tyron Smith's going to be a free agent, and you might be able to put Tyler Smith at tackle. I think you can, but you'd probably just rather him play guard because he's so good out there. Do I want to go Tyler Guyton or Jordan Morgan is the question. Let's go Jordan Morgan here. I don't know how many Jordan Morgan mocks I've seen to the Cowboys, but they need tackle, and if not, I would go Tyler Guyton. Green Bay Packers here at 25. Can I put DeJean here? No, I highly doubt I could put DeJean here. They could use a running back, but they would go second round. They could also use a tackle, but I think I'm going to give them a cornerback here. I think putting somebody like Ennis Rakestraw next to Jair Alexander would be sick. Yeah, I think that's like disgusting as a combo. Those two would be locked down. Pick 26 here for the Tampa Bay Bucks. They had a very surprising year. You could take like a J.J. McCarthy back into the first round if you want to develop someone behind Baker, but I think he'll be back, so. I could go edge for them. Like, Braylon Trice is pretty interesting. Braylon Trice, Jonah Ellis, Chris Braswell. Adisa Isaac I like a lot. I almost want to put Adisa Isaac in the first round. He had a really good Senior Bowl as well. Can I go interior for them? Is Graham Barton a good fit? I don't know. They just drafted Cody Mock, too. There's not a lot that I could really give this team. I don't think I go safety here. It's definitely not a linebacker I would push up this far. Let's go Braylon Trice. I think they could still use some help at edge because it hasn't been great out there. Shaq Barrett's at old. Joe Tryon, Shoyinka has not developed as we thought he would. They drafted somebody else too who just isn't like amazing. So I think Braylon Trice with his like really high pass rush win rate could pose an immediate impact for that team. Cardinals here at 27 via Houston. Where are they gonna go? I almost want to give them Adisa Isaac, like I said. So I said either edge or tackle. I don't know if I would go Tyler Guyton here. I think he's more of a second rounder for me. And edge rushers who are left are Chris Braswell, Jonah Ellis, Chop Robinson, Adisa Isaac. I almost see Adisa Isaac going over Chop Robinson now. Chop Robinson's just very raw, so he might go like high in the second round, but I don't know if I see him as a first rounder anymore. You know what? Let's show Adisa Isaac some love. He had a really, really, really good Senior Bowl. He looked really good just setting the edge in general. He was good at stopping the run as well as the pass, like being an actual pass rusher. Yeah, I think he deserves some first round love. I don't know if he'll go this high, because he was definitely like a round 3 type of talent for me before the Senior Bowl. I think he's like solidified himself as a round 2 plus, but like if a team likes him a lot, I think he could sneak into the first round. Buffalo Bills here. I'm finally going to stop the fall of Cooper DeJean. I think he, out of any team in the league, he probably fits Sean McDermott's defense the best, of playing like a quarters defense. They play a lot of zone coverage. He would be really cool next to Trey White, if Trey White can stay healthy. But yeah, I think DeJean probably fits them better than anywhere else on this list. Like, the other option was, like, I thought about putting him at the Vikings all the way at 11, but I don't know if I like the value of that. Detroit at pick 29, they're pretty upset that all of these corners are basically off the board because they need help out there. Kamari Lassiter, I don't think I have in the first round anymore. Kalen King had a really bad Senior Bowl, so I wouldn't go that high with him. There's just no, like, DBs here. Maybe I give them an edge. You compare somebody up next to Aiden Hutchinson for the future, because right now they have a lot of rotational guys. So, let's see. Darius Robinson is like the most hype right now at Vinny Edge, but I don't know if he goes first round. You know what? Let's give him Chop Robinson. I still think he could make it into the first round, but again, he's raw. But the Lions are in a spot where it's like they seem to be very good with developing defensive talent. So I think if you can get Aiden Hutchinson to show Chop Robinson some moves, he could be good. Ravens here pick 30. I mean, Byron Murphy's still on the board. I didn't even realize that. I'm not gonna lie, I would have gone Byron Murphy here at 27. Do I just give the Ravens Byron Murphy? I thought about a receiver too, like a Keon Coleman or a Troy Franklin. Keon Coleman would be a good complement to what they have in Zay Flowers, but Troy Franklin would as well. They could use tackle. I could give them Tyler Guyton. That's like a real pick. I could definitely give them Tyler Guyton. Cornerbacks, like I said, I'm not really super high on taking any of these guys here. Interior, Zach Frazier, you look pretty good. Do we go with the fun pick in like a Byron Murphy, or do I go with the real pick and give him a tackle? Let's give him a tackle. Lamar needs help, man. Let's give him Tyler Guyton. I don't know if I would take him in the first round, but I think that's what they need. Kansas City Chiefs, man, if Byron Murphy's here, you're taking him. Best player available. Yeah, that's not hard at all. And 49ers at pick 32, I would give them a tackle as well. Trent Williams getting up there in age. I'm trying to think of who, though. Like, Kingsley Suamataia did not look good. He did not look good. Maybe Karan Amagaji. Or maybe like an edge, like a Chris Braswell. But they have Chase Young, but I don't know if he's going to resign. Interior. I mean, they could use help like all over the offensive line. So somebody like a Zach Frazier would be pretty interesting. I don't think they need receiver, a tight end. Definitely don't need a running back. Wow, they're really high on Jalen Wright. Interesting. Who's here at tackle? Do I go Karan in the first round? I don't know if I'm like supporting that all the way. Suamataia just dropped really far for me, so I don't know. You know, let's go Graham Barton. And that's going to be the final pick of the draft. I want Graham Barton because he can start off as a guard and learn how to play tackle. Alright. He can learn how to play tackle later on from Trent Williams, but this is going to be the mock, so you guys take a quick look at this. I think the only pick I would maybe redo is like this this Dallas Turner pick, and I would actually swap these two. I think Jared Verse is probably a better fit for Chicago and what they're trying to do than Dallas Turner, but it's fine. It's the first mock draft. I think there'll be more iterations of this later on. I might try and find a website that I could do trades with without having to pay for it. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.